bad day today. It's a bad day. We're sorry to be the people to announce this, but if you've ever gone to Freed Hardeman or been in Henderson, Tennessee, then today is a day that you are hurting. Bell's Drive-In is no more. So join us for some time of... Sorry, this is hard.
You got this. You got this.
For a time of silence in honor of the triple burger with bacon.
Those cheese tots.
Is that too long? Should we stop it or?
Let's just take a moment.
Let's take a moment of silence. Thank you.
Okay. So anyways, welcome into the show. We are discussing something really good. Should we play the intro music? I feel
Hey, whoa.
Hit the intro.
Hey, wait.
Yeah, let's hit the intro.
Legitimately, I am legitimately sad about Bell's Drive-In.
Well, you should be.
Hopefully they build
I know
it
we're
back.
having fun a little bit, but
I'd like to build it back.
I'm heartbroken.
Hey, welcome in to the OKS Youth Ministry Podcast, where three of the OKS Youth Ministers talk about youth ministry, and I am Michael Deese, and I am joined by Jeremy Crow and the Hunter Puckett. Hey, guys.
I was just waiting for what word you were going to describe him with. I was hoping maybe illustrious or something.
That's what I used last time. I didn't want to do it again.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
But
But he is
we are,
illustrious.
The delicate.
we are sad today, though.
Today is a sad day.
It really is.
Really bummed out when I saw that. I think Ryan Hodges posted about it. He does all the news stuff in that area.
Yeah.
And it was just a super sad moment to see bells burn like that.
How often, when you were at Freed, how often did you eat at Bell's Drive-In?
So we ate whenever I had money. That's where we went.
Okay.
We would also go to China King.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude,
little
you could
lunch
get-
buffet.
Is that the one right
man.
beside Subway?
Yes.
Yeah.
$5.85.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to Bell's, but they had a sign on the door one time. I went to China King, wanted to get some lunch.
We know takes checks.
No, not we know takes checks. They're closed, and it's absolutely a day they should be open. And it says, "We go New York, be back 2 weeks."
Real time.
And it was awesome. And you know
sounds
what?
about right.
We didn't have China King for 2 weeks,
Good.
so Henderson was the classic sign in the restaurant place, like
Oh, yeah.
at Bill's. Do you remember Bill's
Oh,
barbecue?
yeah. No
The-
employees.
Yeah, the employees only,
Yeah.
EMPLOYE apostrophe S, as though you needed to make possessive the only. Anyway, it was awesome. But okay, tell me this: what was a memorable moment for you at the Bell's Drive-In?
I just when y'all mentioned this, I just thought about just all of the memories that I had there. You know, my senior year, we ate there. I think it was every Tuesday we would go to Bell's my
Yeah.
senior year, and it was awesome. You know, Thursdays we'd go to China King. Mondays I'd go to the Pig.
Were you living in Priv at the time?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
At least you weren't paying for a meal plan. And
No,
doing that.
no, I wasn't paying for a meal plan.
It was around this time 18 years ago, I believe it was, that we won the intramural championship in softball.
Single A or
Yeah, single A.
I did that every time.
Animal Crackers intramural independent team. And every time we'd have a big win, we'd go to Bell's afterwards. There was one night that we made a decision that we were going to have a sweet tea drinking contest. And I don't know if you ever had Bell's sweet tea, but
It's sweet.
it wasn't as good as the wagon, but it was sweet. Like could almost stand up and walk by itself.
I would always get half and half.
Yeah,
Half
no,
unsweet,
we
half
didn't
sweet.
do that. And so we got the full high octane, and we drank tea until we literally couldn't drink more tea. And things that I learned after the fact.
You can die from it.
Did not know tea was a natural diuretic. Found that out for the next 24 hours.
And if you're a younger listener that doesn't know what that is, go ask your parents.
Yeah, so we did find out. None of us that were in that sweet tea drinking contest, we all missed our classes the next day. We missed chapel.
Oh no, not chapel.
Didn't want to get very far from a
Luckily,
restroom.
you have 11 skips, so.
So yeah, there you go. So there you go. It was good times though. I remember many big game wins after some intramural game, and then we went to Bell's.
Yeah. Hunter?
That's awesome. A lot of my memories come from lectureships.
Oh, yeah.
Going with all the adults to lectureships, and then it's always intimidating. You're sitting in there, and then it's like the professors and all these giants in the faith sitting in that restaurant. You're just right in the middle of everybody, and it's always an encouraging time.
Yeah, I remember I would always go there every single time with my second family. The Dyes, Ethan Dye. Do y'all know Ethan Dye? Mm-hmm. His dad, Jeff Dye, would come to the lectureship, and I would always just sit with them and eat with them as if I was their third son. Me, Eli, Ethan, and Jeff. And we would just have a good time.
So this last year for Rush, it was our first time to take a group to Rush from Coleman. And we took our students we stayed in this awesome little Airbnb thing that was like one block across the street from Bell's. And so we walked over there and had dinner one evening. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, we're going to make this tradition. We're going to go to Bell's every year during Rush.
All three of us go to Bell's, the entire youth group.
That would be cool. I was thinking like my group, I'm going to take them, and here we are. So Bell's, you've got about 5 months to build back. And we're looking forward to eating with you in September.
That's right.
No pressure.
Also, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I bet they're
big addition.
Wait. Can we start a conspiracy theory here? Did Big Chick-fil-A burn down Bell's?
Ooh.
Bum, 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 bum. There it is.
Did they? We're gonna have to take out
competition.
Yeah, they
Music's getting me.
couldn't handle the competition. They're gonna have to take out the tinfoil hats. Everybody got their hats on. It's a conspiracy.
Yep.
It's a conspiracy.
Doubt is true, but I wouldn't put it past them. Wouldn't put it past them.
So yeah. So speaking of conspiracy theories, we haven't talked about anything with youth ministry yet, but this week my wife just opened the can of worms that she has seen somewhere online that we faked the moon landing, and that it was all a big conspiracy.
Yeah, it is. It's a big conspiracy.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
a lot
here's
of people
the
are
thing.
on that train.
It's very true.
Whether
It's very
you agree with
fake.
that or not, when you're an 11-year-old little boy sitting at the dinner table with your mother, who you absolutely think that this is true and you believe wholeheartedly in this, it broke Lincoln.
As it should.
I mean, it broke him.
Yeah.
It was like how I felt the first time someone told me Pluto is no longer a planet.
Man, that's messed up.
That's just messed up. That's messed up.
They say, but it's officially Pluto is a planet again.
A dwarf planet.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's still a planet.
It's a little planet.
Hey,
Planets in the name counts.
well, it's a little bit.
Just
A
a little
planet.
bit. Just a little bit. Okay, moving on. So we've talked about a lot of community businesses already. We started last week kind of introducing the idea of how we team up and work in cohesion with different types of roles and leaders in and around our job. And one of those that we really need to talk about and have some conversation about is community leaders. And what I mean by that is it could be business owners, it could be people in local government, it could be other church leaders in your town, people that lead and have authority roles in the schools, administrators, teachers. How do we work alongside community leaders. So, Hunter, I'm going to let you kick us off, man. You start us off. What would you say? Let's start with just talking about some important advice around how we deal with, interact with other leaders in our community.
Well, it's starting with a relationship. You have to build that relationship. You have to build that bridge with that community, with the group there, the leaders there. Get to really know them. Don't approach it as you're requesting for something. Don't just start to get to know them because you need something from them, but start that relationship early. And approach them from a friendly way, a way of wanting to build your ministry and have them help you build it, or have them build it along with you. Whether it's a local T-shirt company, or Jeremy has a story later of a car dealership or something that was just utilizing these businesses around you to help your ministry.
I think all of us dread the telemarketer call where they call and they're asking for some kind of donation. They're asking you to do something or support something or whatever, whether it's political or whether it's financial or whatever. And we all get those calls and we're like, "No, man, I'm not interested." And we hang up, right? We quickly,
what a jerk.
Yeah, we do.
I've never done that. I always give money every time.
Yeah.
Wow.
At Michael Deese, if you need donations for anything, Michael Deese would help you out. Don't call me. But I would say I very quickly, I'm not rude to him, but I'm just like, hey, I'm not interested. Part of that is you have no idea who I am or anything about me. You're just cold calling me because I'm on a list of phone numbers. And that doesn't feel genuine. There's no relationship to that, right? I have no commitment or interest in whatever that thing is until I get to know it a little bit.
I can't wait till you start cold calling for this real estate stuff.
I know, baby.
You better not call me.
Yeah,
I'm hanging up.
They'll be calling me, boy.
I think it's when we're going about with our regular ministry things, we start off by trying to build a relationship with the business or with the people or with the family or whatever. And it's no different with businesses and stuff.
That's right.
You want to start off by, you don't want to ask them for something or ask them to do something for you. You need to get to know them. The person in the front, when you walk into whatever restaurant and they're trying to seat you or whatever, start up a conversation with them. Ask them, so what are all the things that they expect for you to do here? Is it a tough job? And then just kind of talk with them and listen to the things that they're saying. And then before, we've mentioned this before on the podcast, our friend Sam over at Beltline, he's the man. And whenever we go out to eat, they bring out the food and stuff and they say, can we get you anything else? And Sam always stops them like, hey, we're about to say a prayer. Can we say a prayer for something with you? And, just establishing that relationship and then keeping that going. The next time that you're there, when you see them, hey, we want her as our waitress or we want him as our waitress or whatever, and really trying to build up that relationship. And then that person can vouch for you when you do need something. You have a big order coming in at whatever restaurant and you can say, hey, we got a big order in and we want so-and-so to, we want to talk to this person. Like, why do you want to talk to her? Because she's awesome or he's awesome or whatever.
We've used them in the past. It's been a good experience.
Yeah. Somebody that does this well, not in youth ministry, but I think she probably sees it as a way in which she ministers to others, is I don't remember her name. She's the waitress over at Pizza Hut right here in town.
Oh, yeah.
She has been working there for, I think she said 20 years and has been serving tables, and she will manage the entire dining room by herself, and she's incredible at it.
She's awesome.
And she plays her own music.
But is she a member here? Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so she... I just think it's so cool. She knows everybody that walks in just about. She talks to them about whatever's going on in their business. She builds that relationship. And so people love having her as their server, right? Yeah. They look forward to coming there. And I think there are people that probably go there for the service as much as the food there.
Right.
So, making sure you're starting with a relationship, that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think every single week of this series, we're going to talk about building a bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is going to be the key to a lot of successful relationships is building this bridge between you and whoever you're trying to reach out to. And when you do that in a community sense, whether it's at businesses, are we going to talk about schools for a single episode?
This will be kind of in that
I think
conversation.
So, and also building it within schools as well. You're getting to know these schools, you're getting to know these businesses, and you're showing them that, hey, you're not just there to take from them, but you're going to be a resource.
Yeah.
Especially for the schools. Hey, let me know when there's an issue or anything that I can help you out with. The same with businesses, same with I like the idea of, you're building these relationships. You're getting to know the people there. We do a lot of Italian food from Francesca's, I believe, in Decatur. For a lot of our older members, like the Italian food, so I'll use them. And I deal with one lady every single time.
Yeah.
I think of Sunday Cool, and you have that one person that you talk to every single time.
R.I.P. John. He was the best.
Did he die, or did he just move jobs?
He got a really good promotion and moved up and is doing some really cool stuff.
Well, fantastic. But it's things like that where you just get to deal with one person. They know you know them, and it's easy to build off of that as well.
John was the best, T-shirt guy.
Hey, an example of somebody that I've seen doing this well over in Coleman. So there's a church, Desperation Church, that they go to the primary school when it's time for the open house at the beginning of the year. They take their, which I guess it's their trolley thing or whatever. It's a golf cart that can haul a bunch of people, whatever you call that. And they normally use on Sunday mornings to help elderly people get in and out of the building for worship. They take it over to the school, and while parents are coming in for open house, and you have to park a long way away because it's a pretty big primary school, they run that golf cart back and forth and essentially give people, a tram ride from their car to the school and back. They don't do it they're not there handing out anything. I had to ask who they were with, but the community around them and the school administration sees them as such a loving, serving group because of that. It's a cool thing.
Yeah. The place that I worked with, there's a guy, and I'm about to give him a shout out. He actually texted me last night. Jonathan Godsey, when he was our preaching intern or what were we? Preaching resident. He was there for 18 months. We had this deal with him. He stays there 18 months.
Resident, I guess.
Yeah, and we kind of taught him what to do, and then we encouraged him to get a job and, all that kind of stuff. But at any rate, he's awesome. And when he got there, he was like, I want to figure out some things that we can do in our community. I want to figure out, I don't know what to do. And he said, he's a self-starter. So he set up a meeting with the mayor and waited a week or something and then went in and was like, hey, I want to know what our church can do to help this community and ways that we can help this community. Who are the churches that y'all depend on whenever y'all need something? You can reach out to these churches. And he filled him in on all of that information. And Jonathan came back to the church and was like, here's all this information, and gave it back to us. And so if you need a place, you're in a new town, new place, you're starting out a new ministry, you're trying to figure out a way to get involved in the area, set up a meeting with the mayor. I mean, he knows the city better than anybody else, really.
So let me take what you just said. If he goes and has that meeting with the mayor and he says, hey, we're going to do whatever, whatever, fill in the blank. We're going to serve in this way or whatever. How important is it to actually do that, to follow through on that? Because I think sometimes our credibility, our church's credibility, our representation in the community, it rises or falls based on how well we actually complete what we said we were going to do for some organization or some business. So we have to deliver on that.
Yeah, I think it's important. There was one time I remember made a big mistake. It didn't really destroy the whole relationship thing, but we were working with the middle school, and we did some really fun stuff, really cool stuff. And there was one time they said, hey, we just need y'all to bring the hot dogs. We'll have everything else set up. We've got everything. Just bring the hot dogs, and we'll take care of cooking them. And we've got people with the grills set up and everything. And I just completely dropped the ball. I mean, completely and totally dropped the ball. He texted me and was like, hey, are you showing up with the hot dogs? And I was like, dude, I have something that I can't get out of. I think it was an elders meeting that just kind of had me sidelined, and I couldn't think of what to do and everything. And so instead of bringing hot dogs, I went to the elders meeting, and that was all that was on my mind. And I was in a different world, and then as soon as he texted me, I got the message and I read it, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I can't believe I forgot to do this. And so I sent, his name was BJ, but I sent him a text that just said, dude, I am so sorry. I dropped the ball. This is all on me. And he said, okay, that's fine. He was like, I'm just going to send one of our people to go get the hot dogs, and we'll just pay for it out of the budget that we have, And so that's what they did. And it was just bad. But I made up for it because I would go and help out with I'd volunteer a bunch of things, and I would speak at their what we call first priority here, but they have something different, and I would go and speak
FCA,
and help out with
thing.
any of those things.
Well, and there's always this stigma around youth ministers. And I think we've all talked about this in different episodes of, we're just not very coordinated. We're very lazy. You're not really, you're irresponsible. And you're just kind of breaking that stigma of, if you're going to say that you're doing something, stick to it. Yeah. If you're going to say, whatever it is, and I understand things happen like that, and you're just taken away, you're busy, something comes up, and that stuff happens, but make sure you are following through.
If that was my first interaction with him,
it'd been awful.
I probably wouldn't have ever gotten any, wouldn't have gotten invited back, wouldn't have had any.
But you built that bridge, you had a connection with him, and he knows, hey, Michael messed up this one time, he got busy, I know we can trust on him later.
Even to the extent where we were looking for we were trying to set up a youth area Devo, like an area-wide Devo, and we had nowhere that was big enough that we could actually do it because at our church building we had some event going on, and we were trying to, and I called my guy BJ and talked to him and was like, hey, is there any chance that we can use this school? And I was like, I know, like, this is, but he opened it. He was like, yeah, dude, come up here, I'll be up here. And he unlocked the school, let us use the cafeteria area, and we did our whole Devo there. And so, like, following through on promises, you're going to make some mistakes, but just know that keeping that reputation, is going to be beneficial for your ministry.
Let's talk about being in the community when there's things happening. So like in Coleman, we have what we call Second Fridays in the summer, and every second Friday from May, June, July, and August, I think it even may extend into September, we do these community events where everyone comes to downtown Coleman, goes through the warehouse district, goes through all these little businesses and vendor booths. And so we've started setting up a vendor booth at those. And this is something that one of our deacons came up with this idea. I think he was the one that kind of created this concept, but what a cool idea. We set up a baby changing station. All our booth was Coleman Church of Christ. It's, big banner. And then it was like, if you need a place to change your baby's diaper, this is
Coleman Church of Christ. Come change your baby.
Yeah.
Hey, hop on right up here. We'll take
deal
care
with
of it.
Okay, but they literally, moms.
Did y'all change the babies?
No,
for them?
no. But moms essentially, moms had a clean place where they had all the supplies they needed or whatever, and they weren't having to worry about, because it's packed.
Oh, yeah.
Where am I going to find a space to get my baby, set them down, change their diaper? So we literally were that. And it was such a cool way just to be present in our community, because what it does is it says, we care about the need that you have right here, right now, right? And in hopes that maybe we can help you care for the spiritual needs you might have too, but we're going to care about your kid and what's going on with them. That's a cool concept that they came up with to be in the community.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I think just finding things that you all agree on. Everybody agrees that we need to feed hungry children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so finding ways that we can connect with businesses and we have the contacts of the hungry children, or that kind of thing.
Filling food pantries.
Yeah. And we're able to provide that kind of stuff. And so setting up things that are needs, and we both recognize it, whatever business or school or whatever, we all recognize that there's this need that needs to be filled, and we have the contacts and we have the prospects.
Every month we do a backpack program, and it's just for the kids at, I believe it's East Mead Elementary School. And I'm not sure about the name, but I know Big Red works there. He's the PE teacher there, but we do that. We've been doing that for years, and we just picked up the second week. So we're doing the first and second Fridays of each month, and we do that. So we're making, we call them backpacks, but they're 90 basically grocery bags of just food for kids to have throughout the weekend. And I've had different options on that. Now I've gotten to the point where I can't go into the store and get 90 backpacks worth of food within one cart. So I'm having to do like the order. You pick it up. It makes it easy. But before that, I always made a point to go into the store, get the food myself, be present in the community, because that also brings in a lot of conversations.
Correct.
All the older people are like, oh, you like to snack. I've like $500 worth of Little Debbie's sitting in I'm like, no, like this isn't for me. But it's, the workers there, they notice. The people that are running the checkout, they're going to notice that. And then the people that are in line with you that you say, hey, I don't need any of it bagged, but I do need some bags. And I explain what it's for. And now at this point, all the ladies there know me. So it's super easy for that.
Yeah.
And finding consistency with things like that, if you have a place you go every time. Mm-hmm. We do the flag football tournament in December, or I guess it's November now.
November.
And So one of my responsibilities with that is to get the food, because I'm in Coleman. It's easier for me to do it than anybody else. And so I have, for the last few years, I've either used Arby's or Jack's. I go back and forth between the two. And I've built a relationship with some of the managers there so that they know when I make that order, hey, I'm ordering,
10 billion,
300 burgers, and that's out of the ordinary. And so they get excited about that, and they'll make, accommodation. They'll let me bring a cooler in. They fill everything up. One of the organizations, if you're just trying to find where I can get involved, I'm going to ask Hunter if he could just to share a little bit or speak to this for just a second. But Hunter's heavily involved with the special needs community. Oh. He's served on boards to help with the Wonderfully Made. Is it Foundation?
Wonderfully Made Foundation.
So where are ways that churches can maybe, it may not be specifically to Decatur area or Coleman, but how do you get involved in that kind of area and that kind of community?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't really know where you're going with that in the beginning. So I am part, I guess technically I'm on the board of the Wonderfully Made Foundation. And it's a foundation for kids with special needs. Yeah. And what a really cool thing is that we do throughout that is at Western Kentucky Youth Camp in the fall, we do a Wonderfully Made weekend. And that's a weekend where kids, I think we have kids from 8 or 9 different states come to Western Kentucky Youth Camp for just a simple weekend of them being together. We'll do Bible lessons. It would be like a regular week of camp, but it's just a weekend. We do like a 1-to-1 buddy system where you'll have a camper and you'll have someone that's kind of in charge of them for the week, making sure they're okay, walking with them, making sure they're good to where they need to be, stuff along those lines. But then we've also kind of implemented a little bit here at Flint is what we call a Wonderfully Made Christmas. And we've gotten in contact with the special needs programs in Hartselle and Decatur, and they encourage everybody to show up to our church. We'll have cookies, we'll have milk, or the youth group kids will sing Christmas carols, and they absolutely love that. And then usually I'll have Santa Claus show up, and he'll show up. The kids love it. I mean, even the youth group kids love it. Even everybody that's there, they enjoy it. They'll go take pictures with Santa, tell them what you want for Christmas. And it's a really good deal. But it's just reaching out to your community, seeing what needs you have within your community. There are, I think we call it Rising Stars here in Hartselle. And they play, they do softball, they do bowling, they do basketball, but it's just a special needs group.
I've gone to their basketball games, and it's a lot of fun.
And it's super easy to do as a youth group.
We've got something like your church bus.
Yeah, you get your church bus, you load up your kids, and you just go cheer for somebody. Yeah. At our church, we have a kid named Mason, cerebral palsy, I believe is what he has. So he plays in all the sports, and he loves it. And, man, he gets pumped up when he sees the youth group there cheering him on. Yeah. Then also it's a great opportunity, too. Some of the kids don't have parents at the games, and you need that. I believe for that ours here in Hartselle, they make you have an adult stand next to the kids. And that's also another opportunity where you can get out, get on the field, and just help out in the community. Some of the youth group kids will do that if there's some kids that don't have adults out there who just want to help.
And you want to see your kids come alive and find something that they can get behind in mission. Let them go out and help field ground balls, in the outfield with a special needs, friend. And this is one of those things, like Michael said just a minute ago, finding a common place in which we recognize the need in this community, businesses recognize the need, the local government, the schools, whoever. They see a common ground with us in areas that we could help improve.
Right. Well, it's business. They're seeing that we are more beneficial than we are a burden. Yeah. It's as simple as that. If a business or a school or whatever, if they're seeing us as a burden, they're not going to be willing to help with us. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, and we're a church, and if you're getting in their way, they're not going to invite you.
Yeah, and kind of bouncing off that, you said we just need to. There comes a time where they are a business. Like right. You can't just walk in and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And like take over the place. And then so just keep that in mind that this is a business. Their purpose is to serve the community by offering jobs and by earning money so that they can offer those jobs and being able to provide for their families. And so be respectful of that and just recognize that there are boundaries that we can't really go around.
Yeah. Schools have policies, businesses have liabilities. I mean, you just have to deal with everything.
Right. Yeah. And so keep that in mind while you're working with these people, because you don't want to become annoying. You don't. Yeah. You're helping each other out. This is a great,
like you said, more blessing than burden.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Well, and somebody that does a fantastic job with that, Eric Cheney over at Priceville.
Man, he's the man.
He is always in that Priceville High School, whether it's for football games, whatever it is. But he has a devotional. They feed the kids every single football game or that morning of, and it's a great thing that he's doing over there as well.
Yeah. Eric Cheney's the man. Like, he does. Priceville loves Eric Cheney. He just does such a great job. I'm really glad that he's a friend of mine.
I went with him to a basketball game a while back. We have a new family that has 2 girls in the youth group, and they both play basketball over at Priceville. And the dad's the head basketball coach. First of all, these girls are phenomenal. I asked them, I was like, "Hey, are y'all good?" They said, "Well, we're decent." They're phenomenal. But I went over there with Eric, and I mean, every single person that we passed said hey to Eric. I mean, he was just loved and adored, and you can tell he is connected with that school and that community in a positive way.
Yeah.
So what about challenges? Like, we've talked about a lot of ways that we can practically get involved, but you know what? With any of these people that we're teaming up with, we're going to talk about for the next few weeks, we're going to face some challenges. So what are some challenges that we might foresee with schools and government groups and businesses?
I think the biggest one is just anytime you have a relationship with anybody or anything is communication, because communication is just such a big deal, and that needs to go both ways. Let's say you're working together with this restaurant to bring you food, and they're giving you a discount with it, so that, and then you could say something like, "Hey, last time you gave this to me for this amount," and you're not meaning anything by it or anything, but to the business, they're already like,
they're trying to make it too.
Yeah, and they're trying to do everything, and they've just prepared everything. They've got 3 workers working with your thing, and that's taking over their restaurant. The people that are inside their restaurant are getting worse business or worse service because of what you're doing.
Because they're prepping 300 burgers.
Yeah, and then they're giving you a discount on top of that, and it's not the same discount that they gave you last time, but it's still a discount. And then you're saying, "Well, last time you." Just things like that. Be aware of what they're putting themselves out there for you.
Well, and dealing with food, you kind of learn with experience staying at a church for a long time. You learn when you order at certain places how early you need to order it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I hate to down Chick-fil-A, but listen, I have yet to order from Chick-fil-A catering order, and it been on time when I said I needed it.
They don't start anything until you get there,
and that's why. Yeah. If I need it at 5 o'clock, I want it done at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Domino's, if I'm ordering 10 pizzas, then I know I need to make sure that it's going to get here 30 minutes before the time that I actually need it, so it will be here on time. Then there are other places that are 10 minutes early or 30 minutes early, and you need to go get it beforehand.
And Domino's killed it for us last night. They got our order. We ordered 8 pizzas last night. And, classic youth ministry Sunday night. Mm-hmm. And they got our 8 pizzas in like 26 minutes. It was at our building. It blew my mind.
That's
so let me ask this while we're on this for just a second. Domino's, for example, they charge a delivery fee now. Okay. That started a few years back.
I thought that they've always done that.
No, they used to not. And so you would tip your driver or whatever. When they started charging the delivery fee, in my mind, that's kind of like the tip you're getting for delivering the food. Yeah. So I struggle a little bit sometimes with the tipping, with that. But man, when it's a church thing, like when we're hosting something in our building, I absolutely tip good.
Oh yeah.
And it's not because I want to be showy or whatever, but I don't want. And those of you that know someone that works as a server or works in a restaurant, they usually dread Sunday afternoon church meals because they say, usually they'll say that the church people are the rudest and don't tip well, and are most rude and don't tip well. And so I want us to be known for, being kind and courteous to people who deliver and do things from businesses and even tipping them well.
Well, that's even a big part of connecting with the community.
Yeah.
If you're not tipping well at your local Domino's and you're ordering Domino's 2 to 3 times a month, I mean, they're really going to stop caring about you.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to make you a priority. They're not going to do all this, and it's continuing to build these relationships with all these groups. And a really challenge for me too is turnover. And what I mean by that, we've kind of already mentioned it. Y'all's guy at Sunday Cool is not there anymore.
Yeah.
You make these connections, you build these bridges with all these people, and you get to know them personally. Yep. And they trust you, and you've done all of these things we've talked about. But then turnover happens. Now they're not there anymore. Now there's a new person. Now you have to build that relationship with them. And you don't know who this new person is. You don't know what their experiences are with churches in general. And you don't know, and they don't know what their experience is going to be with you. So there comes a whole new trust that needs to happen with that.
I know y'all probably have somebody that does this too. once a youth minister finds their T-shirt guy or girl,
Oh yeah, yeah.
man, that's like a relationship.
Loyalty.
That relationship is absolute gold. I've got an awesome guy, Brandon, that handles all of our T-shirts when we order anything, and I built trust with him, and he knows what I need. I know how to send him files, all that, and which is takes time to understand and build that. But like this last week, I ordered our Lads Leader shirts. Last time we recorded, I had just submitted my order the day before. He already has them printed and done. It took him 5 days to get my order, get the shirt shipped, print everything. He's got it ready for me to pick up today. Building that relationship, it does take time, but once you have it, man, it's valuable.
Yeah, and then they leave you.
And then they leave you. No, somebody called me last week and was like, "Hey, I've got somebody I wanted you to check out. You may want to use them for shirts." And I was like, "I'm good. I've got my guy."
Okay.
Like I appreciate you offering, but I have no interest in changing that relationship.
Well, if you don't have a T-shirt guy, or if you don't have people for whatever this issue might be, maybe find somebody local.
Yes.
That'd be great, and especially if they are Christian or if they're members of the church, is a giant bonus. But do stick with them. Support those local businesses. It means a lot to them.
Let's talk about conflicting agendas between us and whoever we're working hand in hand with. How important is it that we have a similar agenda or similar goal?
I feel like it depends on the situation. A lot of them clash. Our goal for our kids is for them to be faithful. The goal for the kids on the football team is to win football games.
Right.
And a lot of times those don't add up. Teachers want their kids to succeed in the classroom. Things along those lines. And a lot of times they don't add up. And it's continuing to build that bridge to see that you are there for the right reason. You are there to also help those kids succeed and to be better kids at the end of the day.
Who typically has to compromise more in that relationship, us or the group?
We do.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we accommodate and we compromise around school calendar things or around coaches, practice times and games. I think that's a hard thing, and it's hard to do that without feeling like you're giving up what you think is important for your students. Compromising that mission.
Yeah.
What about overcommitment? You ever say yes too much? Double book yourself a lot?
I would say that one of the biggest challenges in, like Michael was talking about earlier, doing the thing that you said you were going to do. He promised the guy he'd bring hot dogs, and then he didn't add anything to that because he forgot about it, right? He didn't bring what he was supposed to bring. And then what ended up happening is he kind of gave you a bad rep for a little while with that guy. That absolutely happens when we commit to too many things and we find ourselves unable to accomplish any of the things well. I think it's good to do a few things really well than to do 50 things mediocre.
I mean, that goes back to what we talked about on like our very first episode, I think, or maybe the second episode of the difference between doing something really, really well and doing one thing poorly. Or doing one thing really, really well and a bunch of things poorly. Which one would you rather have? One that accomplishes the goal, or a bunch of things that help make the goal?
So we've talked about some practical applications of how we can get in the community. We've talked about some challenges, but what kind of blessings, things do we see come out of this relationship for us? What kind of things do we see our growth in?
The more places that you go to and you work well with, the better your influence is going to be in the community. You're going to have a really, really good influence. If you go to, I'll just use all these places here in Hartselle. If you go to Freight House and you have them cater something for you, then they will go on and say, yeah, they tipped well, they were super accommodating, they were awesome, they were on time, they paid quick, they did everything perfect. And then whenever somebody, Pizza Hut is getting within, they're asking Freight House, how did they do? They're like, oh, they're the best customer. Get ready, because it's going to be super easy.
Yep.
And that just word of mouth kind of spreads throughout the community. But the bad part of that is if you aren't respectful and you're not on time and you're not leaving it, that also gets spread through the town too.
Well, and we mess up. Sometimes we don't order stuff on time. Sometimes we let Lads Leaders sneak up on us, things like that. And when you are influencing in a right way, when you do have this good relationship with your community, they're more willing to help you out in tight situations. You come to your shirt guy that you've used for the past 5 years. You say, hey, like, I need a shirt this week.
I've done that.
They'll make it
They're
happen.
more than happy to make that happen as long as it's in stock and they can get it
I
done.
did that with not a sponsor, Sunday Cool, and
Yet.
I said on Monday, this was like I don't know a couple years ago.
Oh,
I was
so
like,
like
It was
last
the retreat
Monday.
church. We didn't
and I
get
was
it until
like,
Friday.
we
the
have
retreat.
we have a retreat shirt. We have a retreat on Friday, and they
Yes.
were like, we can do. And I was like, okay, let's
Was
do
this
it.
the last retreat?
No,
2
it
years
was 2 years
ago.
ago.
2 years.
And I sent it in, and they were like, "Yeah, we can do that. We'll have it to you by Friday."
Oh, that's
and I
crazy.
mean, literally on Friday, they delivered it at like 2 p.m. and
We left at
we were
4.
leaving at 4.
Yeah.
And I like grabbed the shirt. I was like, and I sent Jeremy a picture. I was like, our guy came through, you know.
Yeah.
And then I took him in and stuff.
Well,
but
go
the
ahead.
reason they were willing to do that is because I use them consistently,
Yep.
and because they like working with me, and I like working with them, and they just do a really good job.
right.
And so he was willing to put himself out there, and he was like, "You're gonna have to do this really quick." He's like, "I need this and this and this," and we did what you're supposed to do over the course of 1 week. We did all of it in one day, you know, and because I got it all to him and did everything, he stuck his neck out for me, and
Yep.
we got it done.
Well, and you know the thing about this is it opens doors that we might not have seen or might not have had the opportunity to open ourselves. You know, one of the cool things is when one of these local community groups calls your church and asks you to do something because they know that relationship
Yeah.
is good. We had this happen a few weeks ago. One of our members, she's a teacher, teaches choir and musical theater over at the high school, and they called me. The theater director that she works alongside, you know, was like, "Hey, can we use your building? You know, Tuesday night, the band has a concert. They're using the auditorium. They've got to practice all week in the auditorium. We don't have a place to practice the spring musical stuff." And they're like, "Can we just use the gym?" And we're like, "Yeah." So they came over and they did all of their practice. They had this big space, you know, and they just used our space for 2 nights.
That's awesome.
Which is, yeah, I mean, it's cool when the community starts going,
Yeah.
they're a resource that we could call upon.
Yeah, we have a lot of things like that that we do. One of the things, like the basketball team made it to the state tournament,
Yeah.
and they called us and were like, "Hey, we made it to the state tournament, you know, and y'all have done this before, and y'all have done. Is there any way that y'all could provide meals or something to have
Yeah.
that?" And we were like, "Yeah, we'll do that for sure." And so me and Mark got together, and well, Mark mostly did it, and then I went up there and gave a little short devo, and
Yeah.
it was really good.
So one of the things that we also garner in all this is we gain respect with each other. We grow a deeper understanding and concern and care about the businesses that are around us, the community leaders that are around us, and then they also have an understanding and respect for what we do. One of the things that goes with that is opening up opportunities for your students in ministry. So one of the things that we got to do in Tullahoma, this has been 10 years ago now, was that Stan McNabb Chevrolet dealership, Hunter mentioned earlier, they opened up their bays on Saturday morning. They normally have their shop closed on Saturdays. They opened up on Saturday morning for, I think it was 4 hours. And within that 4 hours, we would do somewhere between 80 to 100 oil changes. And we would do this community outreach where we would take people in our community that didn't have the financial means to do an oil change or didn't understand how to go about that. We would help them, do that, and we'd give the dealership the list of all the oil filters that we needed, all the cars that had coming, so they knew what type of oil, what type of filter, and they had everything on hand for us, and someone waiting to work alongside us. And so people would drop their car off, we would take it in the back and do the oil change. One of our older members in our church and one of our teen group members would work hand in hand to do an oil change together. Meanwhile, the people who dropped their car off, they're inside having coffee and donuts and visiting with some of our members. It was just such a cool, interconnected thing with a community group, business, that led to opportunities for our students to minister to others by serving them. It led to opportunities for our members to have conversations about Jesus through, sitting around drinking coffee and having donuts with someone. And it just opened the door to let our church grow spiritually too.
Yeah.
Well, and the more resources you have within ministry, I mean, I have businesses that will call me looking for summer work or summer helpers or summer interns or things like that. And it leads to growth of the youth group as well.
Yeah, so this is we hope that this really helped you out with knowing how to team up with businesses and schools and whoever else in the community, even mayors. If you need to go meet with the mayor and find out what you can do. There's also a lot of volunteers. I've learned the municipal board here in Hartselle. I think they're all volunteers, and so that's just a really cool way that you can get involved and finding ways that you can get involved in the communities and the different places that you are working. No matter where you're at, you can find ways to get involved in the schools. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to talk about?
Yeah, if there are any youth ministers that are listening to this that are still looking for summer interns, there is a guy over at CRC in Arkansas. His name's Nate Ferguson. He is currently also looking for an internship. So if you're interested, contact him, contact us, and we'll get you in contact with him.
Hey, speaking of CRC, don't we have somebody that's...
Oh, yeah, and shout out to Noah again.
Yeah.
Got to see him. He's interning with Jeremy. Super pumped to have him in this area. Yeah. Him and Nate that I just mentioned are actually really good friends. I met both of them while I was in Panama. So that was a really cool experience. But if you are looking for a youth intern, there is one from CRC that is looking for one. Get in contact with us, and we'll send you his number.
And CRC is Crowley's Ridge College.
Yes, and they're also looking for, I believe, a head basketball coach, if anybody has that in their resume.
Cool.
I don't, but...
No, you don't. Noah is he's going to be one of my summer interns. I have two that I have that work with me. So I've got Noah and I've got one other. So
that's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
I actually have an intern too. His name is Riley Gerard.
Shout out Riley.
Yeah, shout out to Riley and Noah.
Yeah, we're pumped.
And the other intern.
And we got another intern too. So
and then Sam has some interns at Beltline.
Yeah, Sam's got interns. I think
big time.
Yeah,
this is about to be the place to work if you're an intern.
It's the best.
It's coming. Yeah. And Flint's going next summer, maybe.
Possibly.
So it's
possibly.
going. It may be going down too. So, all right. Well, cool.
All right. Well, make sure to follow our social media things and listen to us on Spotify. Rate us, review us, give us comments. Please send us emails of questions and things that you want us to address and talk about. If you know me, just send me a text. If you don't know me, send me an email and get to know me. So.
Or still text them. It doesn't matter.
Or
also,
you can, that's fine too.
Nashville, Lads to Leaders, come by our booth, hang out with us, grab a sticker, talk to us. We're going to have some sign-up things for you to win some prizes possibly. I have no idea. And there's a chance that Michael will be there if he'll send me a good picture of himself.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
All right.
It's going to be awesome.
You guys... thank y'all for what you do. Keep it up, and y'all are doing a great job. Y'all are killing it, and
we hope your ministry is blessed.
Thanks for joining us today in the important conversation of youth ministry. Go and follow us on Instagram and check out oksyouthministry.com for more information about our upcoming episodes. We'll be dropping a new episode every Wednesday morning, and we look forward to talking with you again next week. And hey, it's okay to be the OKS youth minister around, but let's all strive to be just a little bit better.